Broadcasting live from sunny South Florida, and the best way to start your Saturday. This is KMA Talk Radio. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of fine cigars. And now your KMA crew. The man with the scoop, William Cooper. Alex the Goat Tavella. And always telling it like it is, Honest Abe Dababneh.
I like to smoke them like the Winston Churchill, like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, pumped up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar. My cigar.
Good morning to all our loyal listeners, libertarians, and lovers of the leaf. Thank you for joining us this fine Saturday morning as we start our KMA live broadcast. And as always, I am here with my KMA crew, the man that is actually somebody. That's his new name, Alex Somebody. Welcome to the show, Alex Somebody. Also, our dear friend who's always bringing us industry news, rumor, and teaser free, William the Scoop Cooper, and our dear friend this week joining us, the man known as the Godfather, Fred Rui. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Is that this week's dear friend or this week joining us? I don't know how to read that sentence. Next week, you're not our dear friend anymore.
Yes, interpret it any way you want.
Maybe I missed a lot of shows, but I feel like Fred's on every other show.
It's like every 6 weeks or so. But I'm glad I have that impression on you. I'm glad that I'm memorable that way.
Well, I think what happened was it's so I try to schedule everybody 3 months out. So he got the end of the last
and early in the next round.
This gap might have been closer.
So that means it's going to be longer on the next gap. People are going to be disappointed. Sorry, guys.
Yes.
I don't make the rules. I don't make the schedule.
What happened with the post today for the show? All it said was KMA Talk Radio. There's none of that normal stuff. I wasn't sure what episode we were exactly on. I sent a screenshot in the KMA thing because I was asking what episode we're on. Because normally when I go to share,
you know why? I know why. Because when I couldn't do it, YouTube's probably fine, but on it wasn't. Remember, it wasn't connected. I told you to reconnect, so I couldn't.
Okay.
That's probably why. Matter of fact, let me check. Probably got the
title and shit on YouTube. Wondering what happened.
This is episode 624.
No, it's not.
No, I just made it up.
Close. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't that far off. I was going to say that.
Yeah, 612.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is it? Wow, that was close.
Pretty close. I mean,
wow.
So to start off post PCA, what are you guys all smoking today? You guys at home also listening in with us on this fine Saturday morning. Let us know what you're lighting up. I'll start because I got something I snagged at the PCA. Interesting. Looks sexy. Come on, you little.
Rocky Sapphire.
Okay. Rocky Sapphire.
Yep. That's what I'm going to light up today. Oh, we got some Rocky Patel fans, it looks like, this morning. What are you guys lighting up?
Well, my Sapphire went to the team because the rule is I get the leftover cigars. They get the cigars first. So, but I'm not complaining because I got a Rocky 30 here. That's
very big of you, Coop.
Yeah, that's a shitty policy, Coop.
Oh, you want to be on the Coop team? You're on the Coop team. You get the cigars first because
wow.
I mean, these guys they're not getting paid or anything down there. I mean, of course they should get the cigars first. And
my guys work for chicklets and food court food.
Alex, no cigar today?
Oh no, I'm actually smoking a Brulee Blue out of the deep cuts, the unique cuts sampler pack, which I gotta say, man, is a really good pack. Steve Saka, really good pack. That's the one with the word of Saka in it. It's got Saka Khan, what else? Saka, whatever the other one is, Paladin. That's the unique cuts is a great sampler.
I think we still have some. Last I
smoked one of those. Also an excellent cigar. I smoked that at the shop.
Which one?
The Metropolitan 30th.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a great cigar. I actually did an unbanded show with someone on that, and it was great.
That's very good.
I told Mike that, actually, when I saw him at the show. I said, that's a home run, that Metropolitan 30th.
Oh, all right. Well, that's interesting.
What happened?
Word of caution when you're trying to pull this off.
Rapper.
Rock. Come on, Rock.
How much came with it?
I'll be able to see it.
A little bit. It's I see.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
It could have been. I mean, listen, I pulled it off real quick too. You know, God knows how long this has been sitting out from between the trade show.
Yeah, if you catch that seam, you know, on that, if it's that big of a. I'm smoking the LFD Carbon Flower, which I will probably talk about at some point on the show.
Have you smoked it yet?
I have. I smoked one on the showroom floor. Matter of fact, I did an article of it from the showroom floor.
I should have grabbed another one from Eddie. Yeah, I should have grabbed.
Yeah, I'll mention that when we talk about PCA lineups because that's actually on my list of things to talk about.
That's an absolute. Yeah, that's a great. That's something very different from LaFleur too. I want to say, cigar wise, even.
Fred might know something I don't know. When are we talking about PCA lineups? You act like it's like some scheduled segment in the show.
It's not, but I just figured it's the week.
Fair assumption.
I mean,
somehow it's going to come up. Even in Coop's News, it's got to come up.
I was just saying before the show, you know, the stories I covered, I didn't see anyone else covering this week.
Why do you think that is, Coop?
I think the companies that I did, for whatever reason, people aren't proactive enough to cover their releases because they're tougher to cover. They're tough releases because these companies don't give you a lot of details, so you kind of have to work them harder. And we've talked about it. Sometimes there's some companies it is worth pursuing the details on, and you know I'm talking about Puente and Padron here in particular.
There's one thing I noticed this show this year. It seemed much busier. I don't know if that was just
it was about flat. I thought. I mean, I thought day one was busier.
You know, I'm telling you, on day 4, there was a lot of people still taking orders at 4:00.
I said that it was one of the more busy last days of the show that I've seen in a long time. I actually wrote that.
Which I think kind of means there was more people there, or at least more people throughout the event instead of clearing out. Because usually after the first day, it feels like a ghost town. It didn't feel like a ghost town any day I was walking through there, to be honest with you.
No, I mean, I remember a couple of those where literally I was taking pictures of the aisles at like 3 hours before it was closing, empty. I mean, it's just empty.
I don't know if the numbers were up, but I think there were 2 real good moves. I mean, people have been voicing the concern since we dropped off that half day that day 3 was a ghost town the last couple of days. So I think 2 things happened simultaneously. One is I think they got more people to stay that last night into the next full day. People realizing it's not a half day, that they could still do business. So I think more people stayed overnight. And I think they did a better job of keeping groups of people together. I think that the opening party had about 20% more people at the opening party than it did last year. They had the rollover to the Sugar Mill, which is literally right across the sidewalk practically to an after party. They did a good job of keeping people in the hall and keeping people around. So I don't know if the numbers were up over last year. It's the odd year, right? So that traditionally means lower numbers, but more buyers, less trick-or-treaters and things like that. But it felt a little bit busier on day 1 and definitely day 3 of exhibit hall being open.
What do you mean about the odd year?
Yeah.
So for some reason, when they get into rotation, the insider stuff that the manufacturers always talk about is the odd year. And the odd year is the second year back to the same location. Yeah. So Vegas, second year, anytime they do a second year back to the same location, it goes down because the newness is, let's go to Vegas. I was just in Vegas last year. Let's go to New Orleans. I was just in New Orleans last year. So they call it the odd year, which traditionally has less of the whole group of people going and more a smaller armada from each shop. I've seen that. I've seen that over the last decade. I've seen that to be relatively true. Vegas always has stronger numbers because people want to go to Vegas, but I think that's particularly true when you have in New Orleans. They're definitely scheduled for Vegas the next 2 years, then back to New Orleans 2 years, and then it's open.
It's probably just going to end up being a bounce back and forth.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
I don't believe St. Louis is anywhere close to having a show. I keep hearing this. I heard it yesterday on another podcast. They are not close to St. Louis having a show. And I don't think they want to. I don't think they're going to take a chance on St. Louis at this point.
I think they're working too hard on that. I think if you just go,
I don't think they're working on it at all. I think it was someone who put a story out there. And it's got legs.
Well, true too. Let
me ask you guys. Let me ask you this. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying. I think a 2-2 rotation is fine. Move on. Work on other things that the show needs.
That's why. I think they want to have an option in case something falls out with this 2-2 rotation.
Maybe go back to the other city.
What is?
I think you want a 2-2 rotation because you have to allow exhibitors to store their stuff locally and then bring it back out the next year instead of shipping cross country. But let me ask you
Why
this:
would St. Louis
do you
even be a
do?
thing?
Well, okay, that's my. So here's where I'm going with this. Let's just assume St. Louis is all about, hey, we want to get smoker friendly, blah blah blah. Do you bring the convention to a place just because they want to be smoker friendly, or do you go to a city that people want to hang out, eat the food, and be entertained?
I think.
I mean, I just think like, and I'm no geography expert, but I'm pretty sure if you take St. Louis and you just kind of draw your finger straight down, you're going to hit New Orleans anyway. So it's not like it's any closer. Like, okay,
exactly.
maybe it's
I-55 goes through both. I-55 goes through both.
Kind of the same. You know what I mean? Like I could see, listen, St. Louis, it's a little more central. The West Coast guys, the East Coast guys don't want to. I don't know.
I could see.
You may pick up more Northeast guys, but man, you will lose West Coast, I think, in droves at that point.
St. Louis.
Well,
nothing. I get to see the arch. Then what?
Yeah. Like I said, someone put the story out because they changed some of the smoking rules, I guess, at the convention center. But the only thing I can see PCA is, okay, they want to have something in the back pocket in case Vegas or New Orleans goes south. So that I can see makes it, but I don't think they're planning anything for St. Louis.
I've said that for decades now, but I've said really
right. I agree with that too.
Sure.
I don't care. I don't care if it's in St. Louis. I love how this industry gets so obsessed about where this trade show is every year.
Oh, I care because where am I going to eat? I care.
I'll send you some. I know places in St. Louis. Trust me. You'll be.
I know places, but I'd rather go to New Orleans or Vegas.
Listen, for me, I like keep the New Orleans Vegas thing only for the sense that I don't have to learn a whole new city or a whole new route. I got my fixtures. I know what I like. I know where to go. I know what to do. It just keeps it simpler. Right. That's all.
Right. So I said my last trade show will be 2033. That's my last trade show, and we will not be in St. Louis before 2033. That's my prediction.
2033 is your last.
Wait, what happens? What happens in 2033?
I'll be 65.
He's calling quit.
I'll be 65. I'm done.
Oh, I thought there's some Mayan calendar shit.
Hey, okay,
no. I'm retiring from trade shows at that point. That's going to be the 100th PCA. So I want to go to the 100th PCA, and then that's going to be it for me. Yeah.
It's a good way to end it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. I mean, I'll still do Cigar Coop, but as far as covering trade shows, it's getting physically too difficult. So I'm going to stick it out a few more years.
All right.
I think if you're going to still do Cigar Coop, I think you just go. You just don't go with the crew and don't cover it.
I said those guys can go. I'm just saying, me personally. Yeah. Those guys. I mean, they work harder on the trade show. I have all the work after the trade show. They have all the work on the trade show. These guys.
So you need to just go and stroll around.
Just go. Yeah. Just do it. Just do what Abe does. Just go and stroll around.
Going from 90 booths to 41 booths this year was a big difference. And going down, because what we discovered is we did 90 booths last year, right? 80% of the traffic came from half of those booths, right? So going and doubling the booths did not give us a good ROI. So we changed things this year, and we focused on the ones that were getting us a lot of traffic and the ones we wanted to seek out. And we miss people. We feel bad, but we just can't. 90 was just too much last year. We can't do that anymore.
Let me ask you a question, Coop. Is there any, or how often do you visit a booth, do your whole thing, and then it doesn't wind up making coverage?
Rarely. The only time it doesn't is if we shoot video and it doesn't come out bad or the photos don't come out bad. But I think it's only happened once or twice, and we've even so if we're investing time in the booth, we're going to do it. But for me, every booth almost has the same cost to cover, if it makes sense. Whether you're Altadis or some small boutique, it's the same cost for us because
sure, set up the video,
it is all the stuff, yeah. So that's why we ask companies, please share our stuff, right? Because it expands our reach, that's why that's the one thing I'm a little disappointed with the PCA is they don't share any media content, which is highly. I'm not saying they have to share mine, but share some of the media. There's 160 badges you had this year for media. You should be sharing that content.
That's fair. You know what? That's a fair critique.
Yeah, I'm not saying it has to be me. Like I said, there's a lot of good content out there, but share it. Instead, they're doing their own video this year. They were doing their own video. I don't get it.
I mean, we do our own videos too. We still share, consumer content. Anybody,
Especially if you're badging 160 media people and leverage that stuff is what I'm saying. Right. You have a lot of stuff to go with that.
I saw a new thing this year on the PCA, which I kind of actually liked. You got some kind of email that showed you some kind of barcode or something, and then when you go to check in, it scanned it and it gave them all
so much faster.
Yeah,
so much faster.
That's a good job they did. Yes.
Yep. So don't say I don't give PCA props when they earn it. That was definitely
no. You did. And I got to say, when it was broken. The registration process was broken last year, so I give PCA credit for fixing it because there was a line, especially for the exhibitors. There were lines last year, and that was one of the big. Yeah, they fixed.
I never saw big lines there. I never saw big lines there. They were
last
moving
year,
people.
I never saw a line at all this year.
Last year was
they
bad.
were moving people through.
Yeah, no, it was that part was very well executed this year.
Yeah.
I think the last couple years in New Orleans was probably the best opening galas I can remember. You know, the ones in Vegas are, not much different, but I think just the setting of that courtyard.
They need to call you on one other thing.
Love that.
Yeah.
They need to call you to say, how do you do that without lines? Because that should not have had the lines they had in there last year. There was no, they've known this is a problem. Give this stuff out when you get in.
1 second, lines for what? Because I didn't stay in line for anything, but I didn't eat anything. I didn't do anything.
At the opening party.
Are you talking about for the cigars? Are you talking about for your cigars? Oh.
Yeah. Like you got stuff from Espinosa, CAO, Saka. There were lines everywhere with that. I mean, that stuff, hand it to someone when you get in. You show them the badge and hand it to them. And then people are still going to go see soccer and Guy Fieri and all that stuff. You know what?
I'm going to tell you something because I'm watching them hand out. So when you go there, okay, I mean, I didn't go there to get a cigar, but they always handed me one. So I didn't even understand that was part of the process. So when you go to their booths, they were handing out cigars. How did they know if somebody came up once or twice?
They stickered the back of your badge. They still had a sticker on the back. Everybody's different, but like Saka had a sticker that went on the back of their badge if you came back around. Although you could just peel the sticker off and go back. Last year they were marking the back of your band or something like that. But
that's why I said if you give it out at the beginning, it's easy. You don't have to worry about stuff like that.
I don't know whose idea that is, but I think honestly, the manufacturers would all rather be doing something else than handing out a cigar.
Agree. I agree with that.
I just don't know why they don't. How many manufacturers are there? 3?
There was, I think the 4th one was Quality Importers.
4.
Well, what did Quality give out?
From what I heard, a lighter. I didn't wait online for one, so I didn't
give out a lighter.
Lighter cutter, I think.
Yeah, I think it was like a Palio or something like that. So, I mean, they did it a couple years ago. The one they gave out a couple years ago was pretty nice. I still have it actually.
So unless I see a downside, because the only upside I could imagine, if I was just like guessing on what would be the relevance, is if you give them everything at the door, they won't go to see the manufacturers that are hosting it. But I don't really think they care. They would rather.
You think no one's going to see Saka? I mean, yeah.
What was that?
You think people aren't going to go see Saka?
That's my point. I think the people will go and venture there, and instead of wasting time trying to hand out a cigar, they can sit and talk and do things with people, and have better interaction than like old great smokes where we're just handing cigars at the booths, right?
I feel like that's also like a consumer thing that is not necessary for a trade show.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is what we're here to do. Great. Give me my bag, but I'm here to do business. I'm going to see Saka tomorrow. I have meetings.
Right as you walk
see you later. Right. I don't need to see the guy. That's a consumer thing.
Yeah. Have big fucking things set up right by the gate. And as soon as you open up, just have 2 people, 3 people just handing them out as they walk in.
They did it 2 years ago when they had the nachos party at the opening reception. They were handing it out. And I thought that was a great idea. And then this year they seem to have gone back to and these were long lines. People were like half hour to waiting for some of this stuff sometimes.
For a cigar.
Yeah, for a cigar. Yeah, I'm not waiting online. I'm like, yeah.
I'm not a fan of the line scenario, particularly when you get to a certain amount of number. I agree that they could probably double line or figure a way to go, but you say so if you have no lines, you say like someone's going to go talk to Saka. The advantage that Saka has at that particular moment, and by the way, all their cigars are gone in an hour, and anyway, so it's not like the entire event is people in lines. Everybody's cigars are gone in an hour. The advantage I think that Saka has, somebody like
it's only a 2-hour event.
I know, I get it, but here's my thing: if you give them all their bag, Saka gets cornered by the one retailer that won't leave him alone for 15 minutes, and he can't get to talk to his other people. As opposed to
Saka shouldn't even be there.
Well,
What's he doing? I'm saying, why is the manufacturer got to stand there and hand out bags or hand out cigars?
Because they should. No. But if he is handing out cigars, he's like, "Hey, man, I'll talk to you later." He gets to see them all briefly. I think it's acceptable number.
Well, Guy Fieri was a little different. Guy Fieri was a little different.
These are retailers who's probably met the guy a fucking 100 times already. All right, you guys.
Right, I got it.
On the floor. These are retailers.
I'm anti-lines. I get it. Give me my bag and move on. But how many are just going to grab the bag and leave? They're not going to stay. They're not going to stay for the event. They're going to grab the bag and just leave.
What I'm talking about is, look, and by the way, that whole one guy locks him down. There's still going to be people there. One guy's not going to lock him down. And if you're trained well, you got a guy like Alex who knows how to get you out of those situations, because Alex done it for me at least 100 times. So, Abe, we got an emergency. Need you in the back. Thanks, brother. You know what I mean?
Wait,
you didn't have an emergency?
No, I didn't, Fred.
What the hell, Alex?
But I think there's better experiences they could do in those areas.
I agree.
We can come up with more creative things that each of them can do. Like, listen, Eric's experience is a layup. He's got Guy Fieri there.
And they have that organized.
That's acceptable. That's acceptable.
Right. That's his little shtick. But instead of passing out cigars, Saka could be doing something else more experience driven than handing out cigars, and so could everybody else. You know?
Yeah.
Look, I think it's fast enough. It's not a big smoke where it literally was 2.5 hours to get all your cigars handed out. That was crazy. I don't know.
It was long enough. It was long enough, Fred. It was a problem that was easily fixable. Yeah, it was a.
I agree. I don't disagree.
And they I don't know. I'm curious. I'd like to know why they moved away from giving them out at the door. I'm actually curious more. There may be a reason I'm not thinking of. I just can't.
I'm guessing one of the. I'd bet you money that like two of them didn't have their cigars there until like 12 hours before or something, because everything always seems to be at the wire.
Yeah,
that could very well be it. The other thing is, and it could be just as simple as this. That means somebody from the PCA has to get them, bag them, collect them, and then organize.
100%.
There you go, Abe. Yeah.
Which means manpower. So they just lay the manpower off to the manufacturer, so they don't have to deal with it.
When you have 160 media people, maybe you don't need to have the camera out there all the time.
I mean,
I'm just being honest. Yeah.
You could hire anybody to have done that. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just penny wise, pound foolish on stuff like that.
Yeah.
And honestly, the only other thing I could say about the PCA is it was very funny because somebody said it didn't matter. So I did a little test with him, and he goes, "Fuck, you're right." So there's a couple. Look, where do you end up typically at the end of the night, Fred, before you exit the hall at the PCA?
One of the booths that are giving out alcohol.
Which is?
There's several of them. I mean, it's been done.
Where do you end up most of the time? And I don't know. I'm asking.
I mean, I was at a couple different ones because it depended on who had alcohol that night. Like it depended on what,
All right.
But I'm not the Coop's probably. I mean,
I'm a boring person to answer that. Yeah.
I pretty much end up every night. For the last, I can't tell you how many years, in Rocky Patel's booth.
I was going to say, I don't even go to the PCA, but I know if you want booze at the end of the night, Rocky Patel's booth's the place to be.
I mean, not just the end of the night, all day, but
he's got a bar there.
He got a bar there. He brings out a live musician every year, one solo act, but they are always fucking awesome. I got the number. The girl that played this lives in Miami. I got her number.
She was great. She was great.
Great. And it's the most lively place to be because it has ambiance.
Yeah.
The whole
and it's an open area. It's open. There's
no, and let me just say something. They're all fucking having fun, whether it's rock or Nimish or Nish.
Great.
They're all having fun. They're cordial hosts. They're not, people are walking in, they're hanging out. Nobody's running up, hey, you buy anything? They're having a great time.
They're always accommodating. Like it's sometimes hard for us to get the Rocky, and the staff's always accommodating to us, and they get us. We get the Rocky, and he's doing a million things. But it is they are great. They are. If media people aren't going to the Rocky booths, they should be going.
By the way, most people take a big staff photo at the end of the show, and they had a huge staff photo. I've been looking for it. If anybody sees their big staff photo, please let me know because I totally photobombed the fuck out of it. I stuck in the background and they had my hands up in the air for their staff photo. And when they finished, I stopped and I said, "Hey, that was a great job, everybody." I started. They're like, "Were you in that photo?" Fuck yeah! So if anybody sees that, tag me. I've been looking for it. But here's the thing, ambiance. So here's what happens, because what people don't think about is everything is 5 senses, and they always forget one of the 2 senses. And it's just a simple thing, right? So I'm walking through a trade show, and I'm in Rocky's booth, or I go to somebody else's booth who has it kind of packed, and they got music, and you're kind of moving, not blaring music, not obnoxious music, which just happened to pass. And then you walk, and it's dead silence. And then you pick up somebody else's music, and then you feel a little bit more lively, and you feel a little bit outgoing. Alex, what's the number one thing that I bitch about every time I walk out of the office on the floor?
Music.
Yeah, they forget to have the background music on, right?
Or it's so low that it might as well be off.
Right. Because when I come out, my first sense is, why does it sound like a fucking graveyard out here? You know?
Or all I hear is smoke eater.
Yeah. So I was telling this to Pete Hernandez, and he's like, nah, what's the big deal? I said, here, watch this. Because he was walking with me. Just walk. And I put some Latin music on, and I put my iPhone by his ear, and I said, just walk. And he was walking, which he goes, motherfucker, you're right. It just feels like a more lively show. So what I really think, just experience driven, it's small, but I just think that it enhances just the overall feeling subconsciously more than they know, is they should not allow anybody to bring in music and just pipe music throughout the whole show. So you hear it everywhere on the floor.
We've had to ask people to turn the music down now.
What is that?
Because of copyright, we've had to ask people to turn music down.
Well, let me just tell you something.
Yeah.
If they're piping music, there's like 800 filters. I just did it. You can ask Alex last night.
Well, yeah, we've used some of it. Sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah.
Well, hold on. If it's live and the guy's a lot in front of you, it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
If it's being piped through the ceiling, it's super easy. You can take out the background.
We've gotten better, but we have in the past shot video that has gotten taken down. So yes, there are things like we figured out that, like, the guys figured out how to get the music out of the Drew Estate booths, which is always a problem.
Yeah, but I just think it's a more overall cooler experience, because sometimes you're just walking through the show, and I'm looking around. I'm like, it sounds dead, but I'm looking. There's a lot of people, and I was a little surprised at one company's booth. I think it was the busiest I've ever seen it in a while. I don't think I've walked by and didn't see it packed all day, and it's one of the bigs.
Tavella.
Did they have music?
No. It was general.
Well, Abe, that was packed because they had twice as much in the booths as they did last year. That was why.
Look, I don't care what the reason is. It's still packed.
So they had 10,000 instead of 7,500. What do you mean?
Well, they had general. Well, because they had more. They had. It wasn't. I think the people were the same as last year, but the booths looked more crowded because they had more exhibits, because it was General and Fords this year that was there.
But what does that make a difference?
Because
I don't understand the logic.
They had more reps and they had more displays in there. That's why.
Yeah, I
the
get
booth
it.
was the same as
the
last year.
The bodies still need to be there. You could have triple the amount of shit, and it could still be empty.
It was. I could just say the way there were more reps there, so there were more tables and things like that. That's kind of how it felt for me. It didn't. It seemed like it was the same for us. We go to the same time every year.
I thought there were more retailers in that booth. Like, I thought they were doing more business than I had seen them in prior years.
Every time I walked by, because they were kind of centrally located, so I was kind of walking by that booth on the reg, and I'm like, God damn, everybody's in there right in order. So to me, it just looked like the busiest I've seen in a long time.
They had a good show, because I think they were really leaning into under $15 cigars this year throughout the whole thing. And I could tell you, they just they had some good. That Alec Bradley 30th was excellent, that cigar, and it's like a $12 cigar.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like I said, they weren't really. Cohiba was there, but they didn't have like a $100 Cohiba, is what I'm saying.
So I probably should have mentioned this early on, so if you're joining us, but because I just got a text to remind me, in hour 2, Rocky Patel from New York will be joining us for a small segment to talk about the Judge Mehta decision and the hearing happened last week, and kind of give us a little in-depth explanation on what exactly that means for the cigar industry. So don't go anywhere in hour 2. He just texted me. So he's awake.
I didn't even know that.
He's going to be on time. He's going to be on time, right?
I didn't know that. I didn't even know that.
You don't see the little thumbnail for the show? What?
There wasn't a thumbnail.
I didn't see it in that. I don't think I saw it. I don't think I saw it.
I don't think the thumbnail went up. That's what Abe was saying earlier.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it. I don't think I saw a thumbnail.
What are you saying, Alex?
I said it probably didn't.
Oh, it didn't go up?
I didn't see one this week because I usually share it. I usually share it to my group, and I didn't see it
when it went up.
Okay. Oh, it wasn't active, the Facebook thing. But anyways, that should be a very interesting segment. What else about the trade show? Because so we bought in. I think this could be the most ever in 1 year because we had an eye on 3 companies, which depending on how the conversation goes, we'll make a decision to bring them and not bring them in. And I honestly felt like at best we were going to do 2 out of 3 on those companies. It was 3 out of 3. And then we bought in a 4th just unexpectedly. Maybe have been an emotional decision more than a practical decision, but we'll find out. And then there's still one on the table that we're going to talk to you after the show. So very interesting year. Anybody want to take any guesses? You at home, who the 3 companies that are officially coming in, brand new to smoking?
I think I know because I think I mentioned one to you when we were walking in the street, and you said you brought them in. So I can't say because I said there was one on my radar all of a sudden, and they've been around a while. But I like what they had done on some of the packaging and stuff.
Say it anyway.
Crux.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that's a good move, Abe. Good move. And I like those guys. Yeah,
it's been on the radar a little bit.
Yeah,
it's been on our radar for a few years, and I finally got a chance to sit down and talk with them. Very interesting guys, great guys.
Really good guys.
Who'd you talk to?
Don't put me on the spot
Jeff,
like that, bro.
Jeff or Casey?
Jeff or Casey?
Both.
Okay.
I think I was talking to Jeff, and then Casey came up, and Casey and I started talking.
Gotcha.
Thanks, you. That's exactly right. I know Casey was the second guy, but I'll tell you what really is funny. And Alex, I don't know if you stopped by yesterday or saw the boxes or anything. So in their display cabinets, they have their boxes open, and their boxes are split down the middle. I've never seen it. Has cigars on one side. In fact, so Danny says to me on the trade show, they don't come like that, do they? I said, no, they're just showing off. They have 5-packs if you want to buy them.
Yeah,
no, they come like that. I had no idea.
Yeah, so, just so you because you didn't complete the sentence for everybody listening. The box itself has 5-packs that are grab and go and singles on the other side, and they've done that for years.
They've done that
for years.
2 5-packs on one side and 10 loose cigars on the other, which is really not a big deal because if you sell out the 10 cigars, you just open a 5-pack and drop it in there. But it was a very interesting look. I never even really thought that anybody would have done that. I think that's pretty smart.
They've done it for years. I want to say 7 years ago. Yeah,
it is smart. If I like it, fuck it. I'll just grab the pack.
Yeah,
give me the 5.
Yes.
Or if I'm grabbing 3, I'm just going to grab 5.
If I was going to buy 2 or 3, I'm just going to buy the 5-pack.
It made it easier for me to grab one thing instead of 3. I mean, I don't know
100%.
how the fuck. I mean, Alex, obviously you didn't know this either, right?
No.
Right. How has that fucking stayed under my radar all these years?
No.
If you didn't see him,
no one ever posted a picture of a full box online because I would have thought
it. Got read Cigar Coop. They have a cigar of the year for me.
I'm not talking media people. I'm talking consumers when they get mail calls and shit like that.
So, Abe, did you bring in their tray that is their value item? I think it's the 8 to Marblehead. It's like $9 give or take on Robusto Toro.
So that wouldn't be my side. That'd be the brick and mortar side because stuff like that doesn't sell e-commerce wise.
Right.
Or a B&M place. I don't know if Matt did or not.
That passport's amazing too that they came out with this year.
No, I'm excited.
It brings up the question though. So the idea was they came out with a value line. I want to say it's right around $9 or $9.90 and $8.95 or Robusto Toro. But as cigars keep going up, there is this gap for this value line that can capture the $9, $10 market with still a quality cigar. Because as cigars keep going 14, 15, 16, we're widening up that. Can you still put out a good cigar at the $10 mark?
Oh yeah, you can.
I know you can.
Really got to give these guys credit because I didn't realize not only are they're like Davidoff pack boxes. They're
not they're nice.
Beautiful. They're beautiful.
Well done.
So there's a story with this. They actually did a major rebrand about 6. These didn't always look like that.
These are
6 years ago.
This is 2023.
Yeah, about 6 years ago they did that rebrand.
Yeah, 6 years ago they spent money. Yeah, Casey told me years ago they spent money 6 years ago for someone to really rehab their portfolio on the look. And they spent big money, and it shows. It looks very high end.
It really did come out good.
I got high hopes for these guys.
They're good cigars too. That's the thing. There's really not a bad cigar they make.
And I think Placencia.
We were one of the first big guys carrying El Mago.
We were literally one of the first, and we just came out with a micro blend with him, the Mago Vice. So
Yeah, El Mago.
he's not new to smoking on any level.
All right, so who else you got, Abe? Fuck.
Was JRE? Was it JRE?
That's one. So
Yep.
I'll tell you a funny story about these guys.
Yeah.
These guys were actually really nice to deal with. Kevin fucking Shahan has been up my ass about this company for God knows 5 years. Every year when I go there, every year, he's like probably their most dedicated fan. And
They have a Candela.
on his recommendation, I saw them about 3 years ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
And, we were talking, I was looking on their packaging, and their cigars were good. I had no problem with the cigars. Cigars were very good, actually, to be honest with you. But I had a problem because the system they designed was they send you this one wooden box. It's a nice looking box, and it's meant to stay always on your retail shelf. And then they would send you the rest of the cigars in 10 or 12 packs with basically, whatever black paper bundle with a sticker on it. And it's not an economic cigar. I think they're like $15, $16 cigars. It's $15 to $18, something like that retail, and totally worth the price in my opinion. But I tried explaining to them at the time that, look, you're just thinking of one aspect of this business. This box looks great in a humidor. If I'm a retailer and I got all your boxes lined up and they're flipped open and I'm just opening up paper bundles, but I just want you to think of the psychology. I want to come in. I want to buy a box. All right, now I'm buying just a 12-pack, and I'm buying this $16, $18 cigar, and it's wrapped in this. And honestly, it's not even the best-looking packaging. It's not even the best-looking like wrap. I was talking at the time. The sticker's a little crooked. The things. It's not even a nice seal.
No, it's for shipping. It's not a retail facing. It's not online. If I put this online. Yeah.
Why aren't you thinking of that? You're thinking of just loose stick sales. You're not thinking of the ultimate experience of a guy buying a box, and then it won't translate to e-commerce at all. What am I going to do? Show these paper bundles? And he was, because here's the thing, and I got a lot of respect for these guys after talking to them this year. Here's the thing. It's very hard, and this is why a lot of people sometimes, there's not a lot of love for me in the industry sometimes for some people. Telling people what they need to hear sometimes doesn't always come across easy, because they're vested in this and they think they got this great ass idea. And here I come along wobbling like a little fat ass trying to tell them, this is not a great idea. I mean, it is in one aspect, but you're missing the bigger picture. And I just didn't bring them in, and I didn't talk to them the last 2 years. First thing Kevin says is they got boxes this year. So 3 years later, they actually made boxes, which they didn't even have at the show. It didn't make it. And they said, come back Monday, we'll have the boxes. And it still didn't make it, but they had pictures and stuff like that. But they got them in 20 count boxes now.
I like the story. It's a cool story. I like the story and the logo, like the whole.
They're great guys too, by the way.
They are nice guys. I'm going to tell you exactly why.
These guys are literally former Mormons who broke away. And like even the apostate logo, it's all the APOS. It's all Mormon symbolism. That apostate. It's all Mormon symbolism.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is that going to their booth this year, I really didn't know what to expect, because the last time I talked to him, I think he was a little hurt, a little offended by some of the things I may have said. So they're in the Blackworks booth, who obviously we got a great relationship with. So I'm there, and Matt says to me, so do you want to go see them? I said, let's just stand here and see what happens. Let's just stand here and see what, and sure enough, comes right up to me, happy to see me, tells me, hey, we have boxes, not like bitter, not even ashamed, not even like, hey, you were
remembered.
That's
impressive. Yeah.
Came right up to me. We sat, we talked with both of them, and we bought the line in. And I tell you what, one of my favorite, I forget what it's called, maybe the Apostles. They got these little mini Coronas.
Yep.
Okay. Now it's
love
really
those.
It's really only retailer brick and mortar friendly, because they come in this shelf thing, and then they all fill them up, and they got like the 8 Apostles or whatever it is, and they're all in there. But it's like this little petite Corona. I smoked 3 of the 8 blends, or 7 or 8 blends. I really, really like them. That's
good.
That might be my go-to, because I could smoke that any given time because of the size. I don't have to worry about time or anything. But we're actually going to put that up online, because I think people are going to want that too. That doesn't come in a box; they only come in paper bundles. But they're smaller cigars and whatever. But that was a very nice conversation, and I was very impressed with how they came to us, and just like weren't bitter about the whole situation. Didn't feel embarrassed. They just, look, you're right. It was a good move, and we did it, and we'd love to do business with you. And we sat down, and we're bringing them in, and they're very excited of being involved in a lot of things we do. So that's another one. So there's two more.
All right, come on.
Jerry.
No, we've had Jerry.
Okay, you've had Jerry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Toscano.
No. Fuck, now I'm having a blackout. I'm having a blackout who the third one is. I remember the ancillary fourth. I know, I remember the ancillary fourth. But now I'm fucking blacking out on who the third one is. It was just in my head.
Artisanal del Tobacco.
That was the fourth. That's the one we weren't planning.
Yeah, and they're great. Those guys are awesome, by the way, too. Yeah.
We were not planning. We were not planning to bring those guys in, and we tried them. It failed. I like the guys. They're really, really, really good guys. We had them on the show. We had them on the show.
Great.
They came in right before the trade show, and like we didn't have time. They were in town. We didn't have time. And there was no appointment. They just walked in, and that's like the worst way to try to come and see us.
Oh,
so yeah. So we said, look, I'll try to stop by the booth at the show. And I wasn't really gonna stop by, or at least go out of my way to stop by. I wasn't gonna go like hunt them down. When I go to the show, it's like one of those things. If I run by believe it or not, there are plenty of booths I don't recall seeing at all. Couldn't even tell you.
We had the same.
Yeah.
Couldn't even tell you where they were. So I just figured if I run into them, I run into them. And sure enough, I ran into them. We started talking, and we talked about now them like doing their own distribution, not dealing with AJ Fernandez anymore, and that relationship. And we bought in their new stuff, the Kraken stuff and whatever. And they're going to be in our Cigar of the Month club, and they want to do the Great Smoke. So we're gonna give it one more try. That was one of my more emotional. Not like we planned on really bringing that line in. And the third one, Jesus Christ!
You already have Domain, right?
It wasn't
Domain will be Domain was going to be my guess.
Yeah.
Domain is the real deal. These guys.
It wasn't even on my radar. Domain.
They're new.
I'm surprised.
I'm surprised too. Because I think they're the type of company, Abe, you'd like to deal with. Wouldn't you agree, Fred? If you just had
that, I don't know. I don't know business. I know that they've got some great cigars. I couldn't tell you business whether that's a good company.
So,
I don't know that part. I mean, I don't see why not. But I mean,
So they brought in.
Okay.
You went back with Casada.
I can get down.
No.
And Hoya, they created SAG Imports. Hoya on the Nicaragua Casada on the other side. I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Oh wait, I'm gonna make a guess. German engineered cigars.
Oh, good guess. Good guess.
Okay. Well, because we talked about the packaging a few.
Okay. This is somebody. Oh, listen, I want to talk about this too.
Okay, wait a minute. Before we're guessing an answer that Abe doesn't know.
No, if you say it, I'll know it.
Well, if we say it, he'll remember. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I won't be able to function the rest of the show if I don't think of this.
Okay, while you're marinating on that,
Mirafel.
No.
Okay.
While you're marinating on that, did anybody have? I smoked the sequel La Aurora has for the Fuerte de Sol, the Perseverencia. Did you smoke that, Coop?
No, I haven't. I wasn't a fan of I know you were a bigger fan of that first one than me, though. But I have not smoked that.
I was, and this one is stronger. This one is actually stronger.
Wow.
Yeah, I was surprised.
I totally get the direction they're going in with those family creed cigars, and it
I think they're nailing. Yeah, and they're nailing U.S. market on those. I think they're.
That's what I think they did.
I didn't expect it to be bolder though. But then the third one coming out is going. I think it's going to be a Connecticut, which will be interesting.
That's
but,
what I.
Abe,
that's
what
what
is, what is it, Abe? What is it, Abe?
1910.
Casa 1910. Really? Okay.
So that's an interesting one. But okay.
Ooh,
Play it out. Talk it out.
No, I'm not negative on this. I'm not negative on this.
Why is it? Tell me.
Because I think they have some really good leadership right now.
They do,
and I think they're in the right. Rob's taking things in the right direction right now. He made some tough
Hector's doing
decisions
good.
on the portfolio. Yeah, that's why I think it was. I would give him a shot, Reeb. I agree.
So tell you a story. So, I go back with Rob a long time.
Yeah,
I got a lot of respect for Rob.
I do too.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Good industry guy. And Rob went, and Rob's helped me out multiple times in my career. So Rob, I won't even mention the brand, was with another company, and that company wouldn't have had the time of day with me if it wasn't for Rob. And they came in, and I don't even want to talk about it, but I will say this.
That's about as true as a statement as you can make.
Yeah.
Outside of Rob,
fair.
that
That's
company
fair.
wouldn't have had a time of day.
Wouldn't have the time of day. So this is a true story. So Rob comes in, I have the meeting with the owner and Rob, and then, the guy leaves, and I talk to Rob and I say, how well do you know this guy? Because, sometimes you just get a vibe that something's, and Rob said, yeah, we have a discussion. So we bring the line in, and literally like a year later, we're blowing it all out. Rob's left the company. It's as it turned out. And multiple reasons. There was a little fiascos with the Great Smoke and other things, and that's fine. So Rob went to 1910 last year, not this year. And I literally said to Rob, I said, and I love him, but I said, look, I'll see if you're still here in another year. Didn't want to bring the line in, and
Fair.
They changed packaging. They did shit. The cigars are good. The cigars are real good. I smoked them. So, and he actually did me another big favor in December once again. So I owed it to him without a doubt to go to his booth, talk to him, because I didn't even talk to him last year. I said, listen, with all due respect, I'm not going to bring the line in, so let's just see how your tenure goes here, and we'll talk again later. And we did. And I think they're going to do well. I think they're going to be taken, at the end of the day, it's the consumers who make the choice, but they seem to have a better head on their shoulders. They obviously seem they got good leadership. I met the young guys who actually own it. Interesting guys.
The two guys, Serge and
yeah, they're young guys.
I've interviewed them. Very nice guy, but they didn't have the experience like a Rob has right now. And
That's right. Not a Rob, 100%.
And I think what he's doing is, I think he's trying to recreate a Te Amo brand, that's just better than Te Amo was. I mean, so they're focusing all on the Mexican cigars. They were doing other stuff for a while, but they decided to streamline to the Mexican cigars. They did a major packaging upgrade, which was desperately needed. So I think they're going in the right direction. I think it's going to be some work though to build the lineup, but he could, like I said, the right leadership's there.
Yeah. So I mean, and if we can help out, I own that. So that's the 4 overall companies that actually we put in opening orders for the trade show. Which is a lot.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot. There's a lot. I got 3 things real quick. I got to sit down with Charles Gibb, who is now CEO of Tabacalera. Impressive, comes from Belvedere and all luxury lines, stuff like that. That'll be interesting to see how Altadas goes on that. Had a good time with him. Liked him. Thought he's his head's in the right space.
We have an interview with him coming up. Yep.
Yeah. Casada's logo, which was actually last time on the show. Remember when we saw Casada's new logo? Way better in person. I told the guy, don't even take photos of it. It's a hologram.
Right, that's what I said. It looked better.
Way better in person. Like, do not even put the photos out you have of it. I said we talked about it on the show. I was trying to be reserved because, Manolo is a friend and I'm like trying not to bash this thing, but I mean, way better in person. Not even close. It actually pops off the shelf way better. And
I agree with Fred on that.
And do not underestimate what LFD has been quietly doing in the background for the last year with, Tony is solidified in his position. Lito Jr. is solidified in his position. Eddie Guerrera, this what is it? Carbon flower packaging. Wow. Yeah. Slowly, I was down at the factory a couple months ago. They're looking at probably about a 25 to 30% increase in cigars over by the end of the year of what they're doing. LFD, I think, is going to be making some huge moves along the line in there. They've always been themselves.
I agree.
I'm going to tell you, if it is, most of it is the new leadership coming in, because that was our complaint a year ago. I think I sat with Lito Jr. And why am I investing my time and energy in shit that's back ordered 80% of the time? There's just no point. And
well, look, I love those guys. That was the joke during COVID, right? You did back orders before it was cool. I mean, LFD was, who cares how much is on back order? But I'll tell you what, they rebuilt the factory and did it. They're going to be churning out.
All right. Well, I haven't seen it in 2025. I'll tell you that.
No, but by the end of the year.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Just so you know, that's what they told us in 2025.
I'll bet you $1.
I'm not going to bet. All I'm telling you is that's what I saw. Right. That
I agree. I get it.
That was one of our major complaints. It's like, look, why am I going to waste my time? Getting people, putting your brand out there, and then it's not available 70% of the time. Ordering shouldn't be that fucking. If ordering is that difficult, then you're doing something wrong. I mean, I don't know why companies don't realize that. You're just doing something wrong, and that's honestly why LaFleur has been in the shadows. I mean, everybody knows Lito Gomez, and it kind of putters along at the same speed, at the same rate for the last 5 years. You know, the NFT was like probably the most talked about thing that I've heard about LaFleur for a long time, and after that, there's really nothing. You know, even I think they've been riding. I think LaFleur has been happily riding the Andalusian bull for the last decade, and that was it.
I think we're starting to see that change, though. What Fred's saying,
which I'm hoping.
Yeah,
our conversations with them, literally, this conversation I'm having now is what I had with them in the booth in 2025.
But we're starting to see it, right? We're starting to see it because Tony's going on the road to do some specialized rolling events where he's going to roll. This carbon flower was a huge hit at the show. I think we're starting to see it.
Lito Jr. is really coming into that role too. He is. I mean, he is really growing into that role. He's done a really. We sat down with him. We have an extended interview with him this year. We're going to be pulling it up, and he's very impressive.
I think they need it, man. I think they took a little hit. Look, when I was managing West Palm,
they did take a hit.
We're talking, you know, pre-COVID. You couldn't give me enough diggers to sell. You could send me 5 boxes. You could send me 10 boxes. Literally couldn't.
Yeah.
Until you know what? I couldn't get a damn box of diggers to sell, so everybody wound up going over to Aganorsa's Big 770 because they just couldn't get the damn cigar.
And now what? We get them the 2 boxes of last.
Okay. Well, people moved on. They moved on from it.
And that's what happened.
It wasn't by choice.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a guest in the wings. You want to shoot commercial a little early?
Well, I mean, I guess we can. So we're going to shoot a commercial early because we got Rocky in the green room. He'll be coming on, give us a lot of good information. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Oh, wait, I'm doing it. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, that was also your cue to let me.
It's all you.
Yeah. Listen, don't anybody give a shit. Alex ain't worried about Rocky in the green room. Alex needs to go to the bathroom. That's what
is it. Oh, yeah, it's almost 11 o'clock. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, why can't I find the commercials? Here we go. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Keep it lit.
Imagine not choosing Monte Cristo. Imagine not choosing greatness. The difference between us and everyone else is in our DNA. The flame of Monte Cristo never extinguishes because greatness is more than high ratings and exceptional cigars. In greatness, there is history, development, and constant innovation. Choosing a Monte Cristo is not choosing the easy way. Choosing a Monte Cristo is deliberately choosing the best option. Since 1935, we have strived for excellence. Our brand is backed by thousands of pickers, bunchers, rollers, salespeople, and aficionados like you. Choosing Monte Cristo is more than simply choosing the best. It is joining a family that believes in greatness. It is knowing that Monte Cristo evolves with the times, but still maintains our values and storied traditions. Choosing a Monte Cristo is choosing not to settle for less than the best. Lighting a Monte Cristo is taking a trip down memory lane, yet enjoying the moment and getting excited about the future. Imagine not choosing Monte Cristo. Imagine not choosing greatness. Now our story continues. Without forgetting where we came from, we are creating the future, one blend at a time. Here's to the past, present, and future. Monte Cristo. Then, now, forever.
Sir.
Honest Abe here with the GOAT to tell you about Smokin's Cigar of the Month Club. Alex, tell our fans out there why our club is the best darn club out there.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you why. Because every month I personally handpick 5 premium cigars. No filler, no fluff, no fugazis. These are all premium handmade name brands that you can find in any brick and mortar store in your area. All delivered to your door for $34.95. And our average monthly retail value since the inception of our club has been almost $57. Another great feature of our Cigar of the Month Club, Alex, tell them about the ease of our Cigar of the Month Club. I'll tell you, I hate subscription services. It's always a pain to cancel them, turning them on. We've made it super simple. All you gotta do is log into your account. There's a little green button there. If it's green, you're active. You want to take a break, you're going out of town, simply hit the button and you'll deactivate your membership. Want to turn it back on? The exact same easy process. You can turn it right back on. We've made it that easy for you. Another great feature is our Double Down Club. Alex, tell them about the Double Down Club. We had so many of our members reach out to us who really enjoyed our selections every month that they wanted to know there was a way they can get two. And we've made that very simple. With a simple check mark, you can get double this great selections every month and save $10. Does our club have perks? Of course it have perks. You want to tell them about the perks? As a member of our club, every month there's a special discount code where if you like any of the selections, we will offer them to you, so you want to come and get some more. You can get them at a special discounted rate for our Cigar of the Month Club members. And finally, expedited shipping. Tell them how fast we get the stuff out, Alex. We get the stuff out on the 28th of every month. Our membership bills on the 28th, and we get every member's package out on the 28th if it's a shipping day. 5 great reasons on what makes Smoking Cigar of the Month Club the best club out there. Check it out. Peace. Hey, I really appreciate you doing the video with me. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. I mean, you didn't let me get a word in, but whatever.
What?
That was great. It's perfect.
Welcome back to hour 2 of KMA Talk Radio. We have a very special guest and dear friend in the waiting room. It's kind of nice because I saw him laughing at our commercial while it was playing. Probably he saw it for the first time. But not only is this man a dear friend, he is literally become one of what we call like a legendary company in our industry. I know for a fact because I've seen it personally. I actually spent some time early on in the days walking the halls of DC with him. He has probably been one of the largest, if not the largest, hard-working proponent of fighting legislation in our industry. And there was really a big judgment that came out last week, right before we left for the trade show. So I think it got drowned by a lot of trade show news, and I didn't really see as much talked about it. But let's bring him on so he can give us a real update on what it means for the cigar industry. Everybody give a warm welcome to our dear friend, Rocky Patel. What's up, Rock?
Rock.
Hopefully we got audio.
Can't hear you. Sorry, guys. Let me try you back. Let me log back in.
Did you hear us? Oh,
I lost the audio.
No audio.
Does he have that?
Okay, there.
You got us?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, now I hear you.
All right. Welcome, Rocky Patel.
All right.
Live from New York.
Be on.
Is that
Thanks.
correct? Are you in New York?
How are you? I couldn't hear the intro, but I can gather that you were talking a little bit about our great victory we had last week.
Yeah, and you know, you missed all my accolades. That you still can't hear us?
I can't. I don't know why I can't. Yeah, now I hear you, but I can't hear Abe.
Can you hear me?
Rocky, log out and log back in.
Let me log back out and log back in.
Yeah, try it one more time.
Sorry.
That's why I always worry about mid-show intros because you don't have the time to test everything before the show. But he's traveling, so he's literally. You're still on. You want me to get? I'll get you off, Rock. Hang on. Let's help him out and get him off. There he goes. He figured it out.
Good talk.
Great talk.
Great talk. Thanks, Rock.
Good talk.
I had like a green room setting in here, but it kind of disappeared.
What was the green room?
Like I could test him off the air while he's.
Oh, you can? All right,
no, they used to have it. It disappeared.
All right. Next up for me is the Laranja Hybrid.
Nice. Rocky, can we hear it? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right.
So what you did miss in the intro is the accolades I gave you, because going way back, you are undoubtedly one of the strongest proponents of working on legislation, never ending. Probably spent more time and effort than anybody I really know of personally. I mean, so you know, you've been on this fight for this day one. You texted me the moment. It was at night. I was having my first cigar with my daughter. Texted me. We won. And it was right before the trade show, so I think it got lost a little bit about the excitement. But why don't you tell us exactly what happened and what you think this is going to mean for the cigar industry?
So I think it was a monumental victory. It's about 500,000 jobs between Honduras, Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, 2,500 mom and pop retailers in Main Street America. I think it protects all the family-owned companies. Probably 80% of the entire industry would have been gone and wiped out if this FDA regulations would have been proposed, starting with warning stickers on our boxes. Every single cigar had to go through constituent and chemical testing, which was impossible. It would have cost a company like mine $60 to $70 million a year to comply. Each one of our factories would be turned into pharmaceutical labs. No new cigars allowed on the market after 2016, and that's just the beginning of the regulation. The cost and the taxes, I mean, you'd be paying $60, $70 per cigar, even if that was possible to make one. This was big win to actually have premium cigars, which is classified as tobacco, against an administrative agency in federal court. We filed over 270 pleadings in federal court, 8 appellate appearances, 10 years of litigation, $12 million in costs, another $7 million lobbying, Congress lobbying, Washington, D.C., probably another 8, 9 years there. On top of that, doesn't include all our flights, man hours, hotel stays. So this was huge. I mean, I was teary-eyed when Michael Edney, our attorney, called me. He goes, the first thing I did was call Corey. I called George Padron. I was like, I just needed somebody to hug. And, it was a huge win with a long battle that, a lot of no-sayers. They didn't believe in us. Everyone thought I was nuts. Why are you doing this? You're wasting money. There's no way you can win. I'm not going to mention names, but people are like, we should just negotiate with them and, come up with some sort of proposed settlement. And I'm like, once you open up that Pandora's box, the next administration takes more and more and more and more. And unfortunately, we became the unintended consequence of all this regulation. What they were after is cigarettes. They were after e-cigarettes. They were after vapes. We have another battle brewing right now in California. We just sued them in federal and state court. We're the good guys there. We're exempt from all this UTL stuff and everything. They're going after vapes and cigarettes, and premium cigars are exempt. But guess what? In order for them to go ahead and figure out which products are exempt and which products are not, and how they're going to go out and enforce some of these crazy restrictions, they said, well, you need to log into our system and pay $3,000 and $3,500 per SKU to sell the cigars in the state of California. I mean, that is just, if I've ever heard of a crazy shakedown to sell a legal product, it's ridiculous. It violates all aspects of Commerce Clause, everything else. So, getting back to this win with Judge Mehta, we were waiting for the ruling. The CAA, we had the victory in our hand. All we had to do is raise it. We went to the appellate court. The appellate court ruled in our favor. And at the 11th hour, the CAA, which is made up of a lot of the big corporation and machine-made companies, along with a few family-owned companies, which I don't get why they're part of the CAA, they went in and at the last minute asked for a completely different definition that include flavors, that include machine maids, and I thought they were going to blow up the whole thing. The judge could have easily thrown his hands up and said, you know what? I'm not here to rule on science. This is not my job. I'll send it back to the FDA. If you guys can't figure it out, start this rulemaking process all over, and we would have lost all the effort, everything that we wanted in litigation. So luckily the judge ruled in our favor and basically said, this is it. I'm done. I don't want to see you guys again. And so it's monumental and great.
So, to be clear, premium cigars now are exempt from FDA regulation.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, I got a lot of questions about this.
Sure.
So, but there was a carve out for flavors.
No, there's not a carve out for flavors.
Oh,
I mean, you basically have to, the product has to live within the definition, which is, I don't have it in front of me, but it's basically 100% wrapper, binder, filler, rolled by hand, so many pounds per thousand, no filters, no tips, no additives, and no characterizing flavors.
So whether it's no characterizing flavors.
Correct. So the question is, so for example, Drew Estate can argue that their cigars don't have characterizing flavors, right? So what is that word? That's kind of a vague word, and the definition of what a characterizing flavor is vague. And I think that's a different litigation will be tried at a different venue down the line.
So, in your opinion, would Java fall into that definition?
Well, we could try to argue that, but I don't know. I mean, that's a tough line to hold. So, is Java a characterizing flavor? What does Java stand for? Java is kind of a nickname for coffee, right? What's in the cigar? And I think there's a lot of room for interpretation. This has to be defined. Java might have to change its name. I'm not sure. We're going to work closely with Drew and Swisher on that. And I've always advocated. I've said, let's get premium across the finish line. Once we do, then we'll have a different venue to adjudicate and talk about the flavor issue, because we all know that those cigars are not smoked by children or kids. They're adults. We have the data to show that. The cost of those cigars prohibits any student or young child or anybody else from smoking those. So premium cigars have definitely been different. I mean, the judge in his ruling, youth access was one of the main issues of why he ruled in our favor. Consumption patterns, I think we took science to them for the first time in history. We had some of the best epidemiology and cardiovascular people. We got all the evidence from the New England Journal of Medicine, from the FDA's old data, and so the judge found that this is a product that doesn't have youth access issues. You don't find children and people sitting outside their office building chain smoking cigars. The consumption patterns are different, and then we took all the health analysis, and some of the data showed that people, consumers that smoke cigars, believe it or not, outlive people that don't smoke at all. So we had a lot of good data and science, and we beat them on the science, which is a great victory. And hopefully now we can take this to Health Canada, and we can take this to Belgium, because the EU and Canada and Australia and a lot of these other countries that we sell cigars to, they've gone after cigarettes. And again, we became the unintended consequence of all this regulation.
Brock, I just want to ask you a quick question on the flavored side, because I can understand like what you're saying, right? What do you really describe an acid as, or a Java as the defining flavor? But does that mean I can assume like something like Tatiana, just for an example, Tatiana cherry, that's not going to fly, right?
No, that's not going to fly.
And that's fair.
And then at some point it comes to what I mean, what did you put in the cigar? Is there an additive? And, is there a characterizing flavor? Is it a combination of both? Is it all natural? What was the interpretation of the judge? What did he mean? What did he think? So, yeah, you could battle this out, but I think the intent is quite clear, and we know what they're after.
Rocky, but as far as flavors go, that's been tabled by this administration, right? So there's not an immediate danger to flavors right now.
Yeah, right now, I mean, listen, they stripped the FDA of a lot of the fat, people that had no idea. I mean, the sad part is we had so many meetings with the FDA. We tried to educate them with Scott Gottlieb, who was leading the FDA. And it was shocking to me how little they knew. The first couple of meetings, they were asking, why do you have cellophane in the cigars? They wanted constituent and chemical testing of the cigar bands, of the wood boxes, of the cellophane on it, the stickers that go on the top of the band, that go on the bottom of the box. I mean, it was insanity. And here these people, I walk into their offices and they're sitting there eating Doritos and drinking Coca-Cola. And it's shocking to me. These people are lifetime, scientists that work there. I'm not going to get into descriptive terms about what they're all about, but they zero investigation, never been down to a factory, probably not even to a store, not talk to a consumer, and here they're making decisions on behalf of the industry.
They knew nothing. They were literally coming in like, how do we regulate you? Educate me about your industry. And I mean, it was ridiculous.
Their goal is to banish tobacco from the face of the planet. That's it. It was simply that. It was not based on any relevant data. There was no benefit burden analysis, none of that.
So this is obviously a monumental judgment, right? I mean, I could tell you, I don't think anybody really thought, maybe other than you, that this was a winnable case. Do you think this case will be cited and aid future fights?
I believe so. I think the analysis that was done in this. I mean, they heavily accounted the benefit to the industry versus the burden on an entire industry. I mean, to go through that constituent and chemical testing, the judge said, "What relevant data are you going to get from it? It's a handmade product. Whether I make a cigar, or Padron makes a cigar, or Puente makes a cigar, how we ferment the tobacco is completely different. We all have our own practices. We have our family secrets. No two products are alike. It's trying to regulate marinara sauce in a restaurant,
Literally.
right? Every
Literally.
restaurant has a different way
Yeah.
of all these components and what you use. And a cigarette's made on a machine, the same amount of nicotine, the same amount of tar, billions and billions of units a day. We're a handmade product, completely different artisan cottage industry. So I think that, a lot of this, I think hopefully we can win this California case. I think that'll be a landmark case. This might even go to the Supreme Court based on the Commerce Clause and some of the other things that are involved from legal principles on it. So, yeah, I think we're setting some specific landmarks and guidelines here for future generations.
I mean, you could just tell it's a shakedown law because it was really about what they wanted. Why not make the product that they have a problem with do a registration, not all the ones they say, well, we're all right with you, but you have to register. That's just so ridiculous.
And
registering that you're. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. The crazy part about it is they asked each of us to send an empty box of every SKU. I think they're sitting with 80,000 boxes in the California AG's office, having no idea what the hell to do with it. I don't think they can even walk into their lobby. It's so insane. So, they had no idea what they're looking for. They thought that, you might get like 100 or 200 boxes between all the companies.
Wait, so everybody sent all their boxes in?
Yeah, we had to send all empty
boxes.
Oh, that's crazy.
Great.
It's,
wow. That is
from
great.
The office, lower-level people from that office are telling her they're just freaked out. The AG had no idea what he was doing, and so we're trying to negotiate it out. But they're so hell-bent and stubborn over there. They want to squeeze as much money out of you as they can without any logic.
It was so weird because you were registering you had to register for what your product wasn't. So my joke was like, okay, so I got to register cigars are not cheeseburgers. I mean, it was the most unprecedented weird thing.
Weird.
Yeah, and here we're exempt. I'm like, why can't we just send you a list of all the products that are legal? And then your inspectors, when they go out to enforce in the tobacco stores, they can actually say, well, here's a list from Rocky Patel. Here's a list
on the list.
George Padron. These are the lists, and they're exempt. Why do we have to register and pay for it on the UTL when we're the good guys? It's California. There you go.
Right. There's more of the good brands than the brands they're trying to fight, so they want the most money they could get.
Absolutely.
Right.
And listen, I just got to say this, man. And thank God for Rocky and the guys fighting this fight, because in reality, in the same week we got to win, the UK just passed a generational tobacco ban. So we need people out there fighting this fight because the other side's fighting hard to kill it.
Yeah, I mean, you have the American Cancer Society, Tobacco-Free Kids, the World Health Organization, which Trump, I hope, was defunding. They're not going out there looking for cures. They're just going out there lining their pockets. They have so many people in the administrative agencies, blanket. They're doling out to Honduras to, so many millions of dollars if you go non-smoking. Where do you think that money goes? Right in the politician's pocket. Nothing else. They're not building more bridges or roads or doing anything to take care of the people.
We've known from day one this is not a battle of logic or reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Health.
Now I could understand back in 1980 or whatever it was, a lot of shady shit was being done from the tobacco industry and they were hiding it or whatever. But let's be real. There isn't a soul today who doesn't know that smoking is not good for you. Okay. There isn't a soul today who doesn't know that really alcohol is not that great for you. I've seen alcohol ruin tons of people's lives. I've never seen, just forget premium cigars. Let's just go cigarettes. I've never seen cigarette smoking ruin anybody's life. If you get sick, you get sick. You can get sick from a million different things. But alcohol, I've seen literally people ruin their whole lives, families, marriages. We're adults. It's an adult product. And I don't know why and the reason why this one industry keeps getting battered is it's not about let's educate the people. No one needs to be educated. Everybody knows that smoking, like many other things, can be hazardous. Okay. Liquor can be hazardous. Going to McDonald's is definitely hazardous, right? It's just about the money. Rocky nailed it. There's so many organizations that make a living off doing this and want to continue to get the government funding, and it fuels payrolls and it fuels building. And that's at the end of the day what it's about. I don't think half these people are really even about a mission anymore or trying to do anything positive. It's just about keeping their jobs and keeping the money coming in from the government.
And I think, Abe, to your point, there's a lot of bad actors who take advantage of the regulations. People that actually made cigarettes and labeled them as cigars. We know who they are. And that's where this all started, out of a certain company in California. And so, there was Henry Waxman who came up with this regulation because certain people took their cigarettes and tried to classify them as cigars, just like people took cigarette tobacco and tried to classify it as pipe tobacco. So, some of the stuff that is sold, grape, watermelon, and stuff, and blunt wrap, that sold, to youth access for marijuana and for other things. I mean, those are the bad actors that give us the bad taint, and then we have to do the heavy lifting to fix the problem.
Well, this happened early in my career, and I really can't tell you why. And I don't understand what the reasoning is. But the people that you were talking about, they made pretty much clothes, and overnight clothes were banned everywhere in the country. And clothes was it was a cigarette format. Yeah. What was the reasoning of banning cloves? Was cloves different from any other cigarette or any other thing that they smoked? I never understood.
I remember Dejarm.
Oh gosh! Sell so much of their products, the Bali High, the Dejarm, all this stuff, and overnight it became illegal. And they were cigarettes.
Beaties.
Okay. But beaties were from India, which is basically weird leaves. Yeah, I mean you would know. But what was the reasoning? Do you even know why? How could that have gotten carved out? Because it makes no sense for me that you have a menthol cigarette, but a clove cigarette was a problem and just got banned, not regulated, just became illegal overnight. I thought that was crazy.
Well, and that's when they classified it as a cigar. And
yeah,
so as soon as they classified it as a cigar, Congressman Waxman went nuts. And then they proposed this bill, and that's how this whole thing started in Congress with the FDA regulation.
Hey, wasn't that the lobbyists for menthol? Wasn't that their inside track to get everybody else banned in that category, and menthol was excluded?
Well, listen, a lot of this is also pushed by the big boys. Okay, so the mentality of Philip Morris and Altria has always been to have as much regulation as possible, and what they try to do is wipe out the competition. And if you can logically see who worked in this industry to beat the FDA regulation, I don't have to mention any names, but you'll see that there's certain companies that wanted probably to wipe out the family-owned companies. They're not going to tell you that, but that's certainly what the family-owned companies believe, because they could withstand the regulation. They're large companies. Some of them are public companies, and so they can withstand the regulation. Well, that's very short-sighted. Because like I said, again, if you open up that Pandora's box and once you allow the government to start regulating you, there's no stopping. And at the end of the day, they're going to be gone. They get their 5-year bonus and earn-out clause, and the next guy comes in from Procter & Gamble for a Coors beer or whatever. They're not vested. They don't have skin in the game like we do. And so, this was a battle that we took on because we care about the long-term health of the business. We're vested in the business, and we have skin in the game, and they don't. And so they've been wrong on every side of this litigation, on every side. There's certain attorneys that they have that have been wrong on the entire side of the litigation. And they actually control a room of people and board members always go with these attorneys who've been wrong, and we've been on the right side. And it's mind-blowing to me how these companies supported and at the last minute almost ambushed the entire litigation.
And that's not the first time they've done that.
No, not the first time. It happens with 50-cent caps in states, in New York State and other states, where we're trying to implement a 50-cent cap on cigars. The tax in New York State, I'm in New York right now, 70%. In California, whatever it is, 70, 80%. Minnesota, and every time we have a little success and they try, because at the end of the day, they make over 50 billion units. We only make 350 to 400 million units. So, they're a big machine.
Yeah. People don't realize that the premium cigar industry is less than 2% of the tobacco industry.
Yep, absolutely. No, 0.001. Sorry, 0.001% of the entire tobacco industry.
There you go. Even smaller. Well, Rock, I know you're in New York. I know you got a lot going on. Guys, before we let him go, any other questions you want to ask him about this monumental win?
Rocky, what's going to keep you up next as far as our battles go forward?
Well,
Sounds like
I'm trying
California.
just when I'm out, like like Scarface, I get sucked back in, and
Right.
obviously we're taking on this battle in California. We've hired Michael Edney, the same attorney who got us these wins in the federal court. So we're trying to get that done. We're trying to deal with Health Canada. We're trying to deal. We hired a lobbyist in the EU now, trying to work in Europe since we sell a lot of cigars to Europe, so this doesn't spread like wildfire, as you mentioned. What just happened in England. We're working in Australia with people. So this is not going to go away. It's something, and we still have to, in our own states, worry about anti-smoking regulation, being able to smoke in premium cigar shops and cigar lounges. We have to worry about state taxation. So those enemies are still out there. And, we just have to stay ahead of the game.
Well, Rock, thank you so much for coming on. Hey, listen, I want to let you know because you didn't catch it, but this is what I'm been enjoying during the show today. I've been smoking.
Nice, the Sapphire.
Yes,
Very nice. Yes, I had one last night. So. By the way, I want to thank you guys for everything you do to promote this beautiful artisan industry. So thank you for your show. Thank you for everything you do. I'd love to come back. Coop, love you too.
We're going to get you on ours. So, yep.
All right, so we appreciate the hard work and everything you do to promote this industry. So thanks again from the bottom of my heart.
Thanks, Rock.
Thank you for what you
Thanks,
do.
Rocky.
Safe travels, my friend. Be good. There you go. There you have it. Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Now, Alex, you felt like this wasn't a win. Do you still feel that way? Because we have our little KMA.
No,
chat.
well, no. So it's
At this point, we should just put Fred in it.
What's that?
I said at this point we should just put Fred in that chat.
Put me in. Put me in.
Right?
I'm in.
Oh, you may regret it.
You may regret
No,
it.
I won't regret it. So let me ask you. Well, all right, Alex, say what you want to say about this because I have a comment on this too. Go ahead.
No, all right. So I mean, I understand it a little better. So it's a win. It's just this was undefined and kind of left undefined and vague. It just sounds like not that it was left out, but it was left out because it's been left out. There's not this sounds like another case at some point. This vague of what that's character. And that's if anybody even decides to try and enforce it.
Because I think Meta's judgment kind of says it's not going to be that easy.
Because I think that was the big question. And nobody really what does this mean for flavored cigars? But I do think. And again, like you said, if anybody's even going to enforce this, but I mean, I think that and I can't speak for a company, we've seen companies do it already. But if I'm a Tatiana type, and again, I just use them because it's the most I'm probably looking at name changes. You know what I mean? Tatiana Cherry is Tatiana.
I was thinking about Tatiana Red, Tatiana Brown. I was already
Tatiana Brown, Tatiana. Right. I think because what's Nub did it with the Nuance, right? That was Nub Cafe, and they kind of there was a couple kind of that preemptively started getting away from the food names, so that gave a little clarification. Anyway, what were we going to say, Fred?
So I look when you have a case like this, it's not even about being right. We knew from day one we were right. We knew the FDA's rules and the way we knew we were right. But the problem is it's not about being right. You're going to spend millions and millions of dollars. And there's still no guarantee that you get the right judge that looks at it the right way. Right. I was optimistic that it would work, but I'm like, it's a flip of a coin depending on the judge, which way they want to go. It's regulation, right? But what scares me, and I remember because Pete and I had this conversation 6 years ago when all this was going on in the middle of it, there was an inclination of the idea of generational bans. And Washington State had successfully gone for the Clean Air Act, which was a workaround to get no cigar lounges, right? Because hey, you can smoke cigars, but there's a Clean Air Act. Nobody can work in a smoke environment. My concern on generational bans, as opposed to where we are now, and look, Rocky is going to fight no matter what it is. My concern on generational bans is the same thing it was 6 years ago. You give a guy a petition, or you rally a troop saying, hey, right now, you're going to lose your cigar you're smoking today. They will fight for that. The smart thing about the generational ban is, are you going to fight for future generations? UK is 2008. Matter of fact, they have an overlap problem because you've got guys that can smoke now that ultimately will not be allowed to smoke because they're past that date. They're in that gray zone. Are you going to fight, or will we have enough people to fight for what is a future generational problem? Because the public's not going to rally around that. Like, oh man, my grandson can't smoke. Okay, I'm not going to fight for that because I'm smoking my cigar today. That concerns me more than anything. Long game than the FDA's mess up.
You know, it's funny. I actually watched that happen, Fred, in West Palm with the Tobacco 21. You know, Jeanette, long-time customer. Jeanette's daughter was 19.
I had two sons.
With her mom.
Two of my sons
she was allowed to have it. The next day, she wasn't allowed to smoke cigars anymore.
Two of my sons had that problem, and they're not smokers, and they were upset by it.
Yeah, look, it's never going away.
Yep.
No one's going to fight it. And the one thing
they're going to come back.
Yeah, and the one thing I don't understand, even that stupid Clean Air Act, right? I'm an employer or I'm an employee, right? Now I could sign a waiver to bungee jump off a bridge. I could sign a waiver to fucking jump out of a fucking airplane. If I want to work in a cigar shop, then who is the government to tell me I can't?
Oh, you mean you want to decide your own life of what you do? Oh, that's crazy.
Right.
That's crazy. That's crazy talk.
You could sign waivers for thousands of different things.
Right.
Because you're putting your life in real peril. Right. And that same psychology doesn't apply to a work environment. I just don't get it.
By the way, I am going to argue, Abe, on the health benefit of, look, everybody says smoking's bad for you. I'm going to argue that the leading cause of death among men is stress. I don't know a lot of stressful cigar smokers. The end of the day, they've had a stressful day. They light up a cigar. Their heart rate comes down. Their stress levels come down. I'm going to argue that medically it's at least neutral, if not a plus, among cigar smokers.
I'll tell you something. The most relaxing 2 hours I have all week is this show. It literally is. One of the few.
I don't care. Listen, I don't care if 3 a day will fucking kill you. It ain't the government's business. Don't care.
True that.
Look, the FDA. Look, if the FDA's job, in my opinion, is make sure that we are not putting stuff in the cigars that is bad for you from additives. I mean, tobacco, cigarettes have over 100 different additives that have nothing to do with tobacco to get it to stick to the lungs longer, to get it to your bloodstream longer, to make you addictive. Look, if the FDA wants to test our cigars to make sure that we don't have arsenic or some shit in it, okay, fine.
I'll take it one step further. It's not the FDA's job to prevent it. The FDA's job should be to make sure that people are informed about it. You know, that's all. Because you still should have a choice.
I mean,
I don't know. I mean, that's a broad stroke, right? I mean, I want to know if there's a chemical in my milk that should not be there that will kill me. I do want to know that. If it's a foreign element in there, but that's their job to educate me. So I guess that's kind of your point as well.
That's my point. You know, I mean, because here's the problem. The FDA, once proven again, doesn't have the ability to know how to regulate the shit, right? They don't really know how. They do a poor job of it. And meanwhile, fucking, all these pharmaceuticals are pumping out tons of shit, fucking up generations. Right. So make sure everybody has to tell everybody what's going on. People should have choice.
Look, nobody walks into a McDonald's and doesn't say, screw the last 5 years of my life. We know what we're buying. But the McRib is still delicious. So, I'm in.
Yeah. There you go. Right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I don't understand, right? Like, you want to talk about FDA regulation? Like, in what world, right? We start talking FDA and regulating for our health, right? If we're really regulating for our health, in what world does alcohol ever make it onto a fucking shelf? If we're actually regulating for our health,
right? Done. Oh, what about half the foods? What about half the fast foods? We're the only major country with growth hormones still allowed in all of our foods. When you can grow a chicken from birth, when it can go from birth to Costco in 28 days, something's gone wrong. We've genetically screwed something up at that point.
Oh, I totally believe we're genetically fucking everything up.
Yep.
I think one of the worst vegetables you could eat these days is corn now. Corn, we fucked up corn forever.
Oh, I used to love corn.
You know what, though? But I also think it's a double-edged sword, right? Because, all right, I got to spend all this money for fucking testing of my fucking chickens. Well, if it's going to cost me this much, to spend all this money. Now I got to figure out a way how to make chickens faster because it's costing me more money to make chickens. It almost breeds itself into cutting corners because my cost went up. So how can I produce more because it's costing me more?
Yep.
Well, it's like ethanol and gas, right? Because you clearly get less gas mileage the more ethanol they put into the gas. So now I got to drive farther and burn more. Plus, it takes 120 gallons of gasoline to manufacture 100 gallons of ethanol. So, now I got to go twice as much to get the same. It doesn't make any sense.
Right. All right. Well, Coop, how are we? You have a news week at all? I know you weren't around.
Yeah, I have some PCA stuff. I did have the UK generational ban. I think we've hit that already. So we can kind of move right into the PCA stuff.
All right. Well, let's check it out. It's time to find out what is going on in our industry. Always teaser and rumor free. It's time to find out what's the scoop with Coop.
Hey, yo, what's my theme music?
The Scoop with Coop. Breaking industry news. Hear it first on KMA Talk Radio and cigar-coop.com.
All right. So I picked out some PCA stuff I saw this week. We'll probably be doing these the next few weeks just because there's not really any new news coming out with products per se. So let's start off with Padron. Everyone was waiting to see what Padron was going to do for the Padron 100. I think in the end they're still waiting. There was only a hint of what they've shown here. There wasn't much. So I went into the booths. I talked to some of the folks at Padron, and in the booths, at the center of the booths, there was a beautiful LE blue humidor on there, and there it is. That was a hard picture to take, by the way. The glass in there was brutal.
The glare was brutal, yeah.
I had to use a lot of filters with that, but I think it's pretty accurate what we have there. They aren't talking about the cigars. They weren't taking orders for this humidor. So they did tell me there's going to be a Padron 100 cigar in there. They're not talking what it is, but there'll be natural and Maduro in there. These humidors are named numbered 1 to 100. Pricing's not available either. So
$1 billion.
Yes, this is not going to be cheap. And we don't know, they may do what they did with the 50th is give you the option to refill this. So we'll kind of see what happens with that. But that's not something they told me on that. Jose Orlando Padron would have turned 100 on June 10th. This is not going to be out, from what I understand, until later in the year. So we're still kind of waiting on it, but we have confirmation there is something coming, at least.
I had a meeting with George maybe 2 months ago, and I actually had the privilege. He actually pulled it out to show.
He wouldn't tell me anything 2 months ago. I think he was like, "Oh, we may do something." It's good for
I
you.
had a meeting with him, and we bounce ideas off each other sometimes. So he really wanted to show it to me, and I think that there's a coin in there, and I think they're going to change them up or have different.
Yeah, there's challenge coins they were showing too.
Yeah, but that picture doesn't even do that box justice. It's really
it was a hard picture. It was the hardest picture to take.
And let me tell you, that's a great picture. Don't get me wrong. I'm not insulting the picture, but I'm just saying the box is a very impressive box to look at, and it'll probably hit retailers. 100, man. That's just
I
can't.
What do you think this cigar is going to cost?
Maybe 200.
Yeah, I was thinking 200.
150 to 200.
That's a question. Just curious. What's the first $100 cigar you remember?
Well, the first
Gurkha.
Gurkha was the first guy.
Gurkha.
Ultra premium shit early on.
The triads.
The first triad.
Yeah.
The first $750 cigar. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Gurkha was definitely the first.
Okay, but Gurkha. All right. So besides Gurkha, because I feel like Gurkha was in their own world for a long time, where nobody was even right.
Yeah, they were.
I have to jump to the $500 Oro Blanco. That's the first one that I remember. Really hitting the mark as far as that was concerned.
Davidoff?
I'm just asking. For me, the one I remember is Padron Millennium. That was the first $100 cigar.
That's where I was going with the next one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hold on. Millennium wasn't a $100 cigar when it came out.
Yes, it was.
No, it was not.
Almost.
We have to double check. We have to validate that one. I think.
I don't know. I'll tell you exactly what it costs because the two I picked
but
up.
Are you thinking of the Royal?
No, Royal Solomon from Davidoff.
Yeah,
that was the first.
That wasn't 100.
I remember, but I'm going to tell you exactly because I know because when I opened up Boynton Beach, I acquired two from a retailer who sold them to a lady, and her husband died. So he walked in her shop with 2 of them. Now, shockingly, this retailer didn't want them. So he's like, Abe, do you want them? Because George Padron told me you were looking for them because I was begging George Padron to sell me some from his vault. When we opened up our rare and vintage room, I wanted to have Millennium in there. And so George gave me my name. He called me. And I'm like, you don't want these? Yeah. He goes, well, she just stepped out. I said, you let her leave? She left the humidors here. Her husband died. They're here. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take them. And he charged me exactly. She sold them back exactly what she paid for them. Back then, he gave her that money. And it was so cheap. I think I gave him an extra $1,000. I said, take you and your wife, go out to fucking dinner, do fucking something, because it was ridiculously priced. But I'm telling you, it was a $50 cigar when it came back. I'll take that bet. I'll call George Padron right now.
I was thinking the Padron 50th when they came out with the humidors. They were it was 106.
There was 100 cigars in there, right?
Yeah, so there was they were factoring the price of the humidor in when they first came out, the Padron 50th.
Listen to me, retailers may have been, but the MSRP on that cigar was not $100. Yeah, it was like $52, $55. That was the MSRP for the cigar.
But we're talking retail. It was $100.
I know what it cost in the rare and vintage room was $100.
Yeah, it's $100.
When I got them. Yeah, when I got them fucking 20 years later.
Regardless, the first $100 cigar with a price tag of $100.
Hold on. I know, but you're not talking about the same thing. You're talking about when I thought you, bro. That thing came out in 2000.
You're not talking about the same thing. I'm fucking talking about the same.
What does it cost on the shelf to buy?
You smoked. I got it.
It's what it's on the shelf to buy for $100, not what you pay.
Because again, Gurkha, but Gurkha was in their own world. When the first on the shelf $100 cigar that I think I can remember seeing was
yeah. But those shouldn't have even been around. I was lucky as a pig in pie to get them.
Pig in pie. That's let's capture that for let's put that on the reel.
What
retail? I'll ask you offline. What retailer told you they didn't want them?
Yeah.
We could totally skip that part of the
right.
I don't want to embarrass him, man, but
no,
it had to be
offline.
I want to hear offline. It had to be a BC store, though. It had to be.
A what?
A BC store. Who could not move that?
No.
Really? Oh,
it's one of the old school bigs. It's one of the old school bigs.
Oh, okay.
Old guys, I think they're, but back in the day, they were the shit, that Midwest
Mafia.
The Midwest Mafia group. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like I said, I was so grateful because I was begging George to sell me one because he was telling me what they're getting for charity and stuff like that. So I think I was going to pay him like full retail of what it would have been, or maybe even more. I think I might have even offered him like $100 a stick, whatever. He just didn't want to do it, but I kept pestering him. I think he was going to break. And then this just happened. And I ended up getting 2 of them from George. They have the numbers, so when they send them out, they know who got them. Those were literally 2 humidors that retailer got, who's probably sold it to the woman's husband. The guy died, never cracked it open, not one cigar. Can you imagine that? He didn't even smoke one. I got 2 full chests in the box, everything the way it came from the manufacturer. That's why.
All right, if you're watching the show,
smoke it.
If you're watching the show, go in your humidor tonight, and pick out something you've been holding on. Smoke it. Man. Just smoke it already.
I don't want to get calls from your wives to sell the product back.
Right. Yep.
What else?
Unless it's a really good deal.
Right.
I mean,
So the other 100th anniversary this year was Avo.
Yeah.
So Avo did have a new product, but it was not an Avo 100th cigar. It's kind of the launch, I think, of the beginning of what we're seeing is going to be a kind of a rebrand of Avo. They had a cigar called the Avo Expressivo, which is actually a very good cigar. I smoked it. Has a little more of a modern, contemporary look. They had a whole booth within a booth at the show with this. They were serving Did you get some of those mocktails, Fred?
I did. The little bubble with smoke in it, and it was a non-alcoholic one. It was good. It was good.
This cigar, it was definitely a different Avo than something I've had in a long time. It was definitely a bolder Avo. It was a more contemporary. I think it's something that could fit with the modern smoker. very well.
It's all Honduran, though, right? It's all Honduran.
It's not all Honduran, but there's Honduran in it, and they're making this one in Honduras. Yeah.
Okay, that was it. Okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah, so we actually smoked this. We did a live stream from the house, and we smoked it, and we were all pretty impressed with this cigar. It actually really kind of surprised us with that. So
what was the price point?
The price point
18?
is going
18?
16 to 1780.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I want to make a packaging point because I really like this packaging, and I wish more manufacturers would do this with their
beautiful.
The slide top boxes, because listen, in a retail shelf, unless you give me that little nook where I can put that back and it looks like a nice, it gets the top of the box just gets tossed. Yeah. I love that little nook where I can take the top of that slide off and put it in the back, and it actually, it just doesn't look like an empty blank.
That's been around for like 10, 15 years.
Yeah, well,
I did that in 2013 with AJ. It was 2 split lids, and then half of that top lid went into the back slot. And yeah, I mean, it's way better to show that way.
It just looks like a cigar box now, rather than like I just took the top. And
yeah, exactly.
Good job, Bubba.
Yep.
What else?
All right, let's go to Fuente. The Fuente was actually they actually have a sampler called Summer of Love, and they're starting this campaign where they're like encouraging retailers to make these summer displays with Fuente, and they can come up with their own design for them, like how they're going to merchandise this stuff. And they're having a contest, and I guess those who participate are going to be eligible to carry a sampler. I never saw a sampler get a launch at a trade show like this did. They had a whole they kind of had a whole event at the booth where they had the whole Fuente crew, with the exception of Jose Blanco in Hawaiian shirts, and they're pushing this Summer of Love thing. It's going to have some the sample is going to have some rare Opus X's in there, so you're going to be able to get the Dubai in there, the Opus 25. There's going to be an Angel Share as well as some rare pinks. No pricing, no availability yet. That's typical Fuente. They're not going to tell you that. But what was really cool, the packaging was something completely different than I ever saw with Fuente before. There's this packaging where Carlito Fuente is surrounded by like 4 girls in bikinis, and he's wearing a hula skirt on the box. Yeah. I was like, this is so un-Fuente. Like it works. I got to say, it worked. I thought it was really cool. But yeah, it was different than what I ever saw before.
I think there's a current AI reel going on.
Oh yeah, there is. It's Carlito's dancing with the four. Someone did the AI reel with Carlito dancing with the with the bikini girls on there.
Didn't they put out to retailers like a mock setup? Because I was at your shop and there was like this whole mock setup that had to be submitted to Fuente to see which retailers would get the launch or something.
Yeah.
It was just a contest and we entered it. It was just a contest last year. There was nothing you got for participating.
Yeah, this year they're kind of promoting it a little more.
That was us doing extra shit.
Yeah, this year they're kind of sending it.
It wasn't Fuente's props.
I think if you have to do the merchandising to get the sampler, though. You can't just say you're going to do it and not do it. So that's from what I understand with that.
Which I really find it odd, because wouldn't you want the sampler there when you have your merchandising going?
Well, I don't know. I think you have to obviously commit to that. And I don't know how it's going to work per se with who comes first. Yeah. Which is a good question. But yeah, I would think you'd want to have that first before you get it.
What else you got, Coop?
There's an Opus X coming out. The United We Stand Resilient. So this is not an America 250 cigar. This is a cigar that pays tribute to 9/11. So they're paying hot because it's the 25th anniversary of 9/11. This is so it has all the red, white, and blue Opus colors on this.
Yeah.
They're not telling too much of that. But there's actually 2 trays in there. There's 4 cigars that are in these paper flags kind of that supposedly are a little different than the other ones. They're not talking about the blend. They're not talking about the pricing. We don't even know when it's going to come out. But definitely this was a highlight to see this cigar. It's very impressive looking. I'm sure this is going to be sought after by the Opus X fans here.
You think?
Sure. Yeah. There'll probably be 1 box for you guys. There's not a lot. They do with these. But I was impressed with it.
It's got to be a September release. It's got to be a September release.
I would hope they get it out for September, yeah. But they actually did an America 250 cigar. It's not pictured here, but they did that one for Ellie Blue. So Ellie Blue is going to have the Opus X 250 cigar. So that's a separate one, but it has very similar bands on it with the red, white, blue Opus logo.
Every time you make one of these causes hysteria.
Yep. And there's another Opus X, the Baby Shark.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Baby Shark.
Baby
so
Shark.
So the Shark actually is something that started with the Añejo line, but they have done some Opus X Shark sizes. But this one's going to be a Baby Shark. All they told me is it's smaller than the sharks that are out. That's what they were saying.
It's a baby shark.
It's a baby
I
shark.
mean, did you think a baby shark was going to be bigger than the shark?
You know what? If I was a company, I just may do that. I would call something.
You would do that. You would do that.
Yeah,
like
the mini something, but actually make it bigger than the original.
Yeah.
Why not?
So we do know that's the Opus X, the core Opus X blend that's going to be. But that one, again, we don't have pricing or availability on that yet. Fuente typically what they do is they put this stuff in the booths as Easter eggs, and you have sometimes it's a year or two before some of those come out.
True that.
Yep.
True
and
that.
Last but not least for this week, I have to do an accessory. DuPont.
I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
I was really curious about this one. You may not. So DuPont has come out with some new additions to their DC Comics collection. Last year they did Superman. This year they had 3. They had Penguin, Catwoman, and Wonder Woman. And they're all going to be in line 2 lighters. So it's the line 2 lighter. The Wonder Woman will be in the line 2 lighter and a necklace lighter they have, which they introduced that necklace lighter a couple years ago.
I was the least impressed with the Wonder Woman one.
I like that. I mean, I agree. I thought that was the least.
Unlike all the other ones where they showed the character, the Wonder Woman.
It's just a logo. It's just a logo, right?
Yeah. I mean, that Penguin one, the picture.
The Penguin one's gorgeous. The Penguin's cool. The
Penguin does not do justice of that picture.
It's like the Burgess Meredith Penguin.
Yeah.
It's
only
awesome.
There's only Burgess Meredith as a Penguin. Fred, we're in agreement on that 100%.
We are 100%.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone could be the Penguin, it's Les, though. It's kind of funny. Les Man could probably play the Penguin.
That's the Wonder Woman one.
Yeah. That's a necklace lighter you can see, too. So the necklace lighter is
the other one was like a light blue with that logo, like a what do they call it when you do when they go like and do step and reveal? It was like a step and reveal pattern.
Yeah.
Like the back of Coop's Perdomo sign.
Yeah. Abe, you got the Superman one, right? You bought the Superman one, if I'm not mistaken.
So my wife's a fountain pen collector. So every year at the trade show, I like to pick her out a gift for, I only got the Superman pen. I don't.
Oh, okay.
We might have gotten the Superman lighter. I know we talked about it because it drove me crazy. The logo.
I remember. Yeah, we were talking about that a lot.
But I did see a pen when I saw it. I said, "Ooh, this is my wife's pen this year."
Which one was it?
Yeah, until I found out it was a $20,000 cost. I went, nope.
Oh,
nope. Did you see the Phantom of the Opera series?
Oh yeah.
They had that
that's a.
Yeah, I said, yeah, but they had that other version that was like normal pen price, so I got it the secondary version.
I like the telescope one they had.
The guy didn't show it.
The telescope one was cool.
We actually
you didn't even know there was a pen in that display.
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking of the torch lighter. But as far as the new designs go, like this is what they were showing. This is the table lighter, and they had that swivel lighter as the other one. So I mean, they kind of announced those before the trade show this year.
Those really looked nice. I'm not sure if I was a big fan of the flame on it.
Oh, this soft flame is unbelievable. It's very wind resistant. I've been putting it through wind tests.
Well, you're not going to have that one outside anyway. I mean, it's an indoor nice lighter. I mean,
that's kind of what I was writing.
You're not going camping with that lighter. I mean,
but here's what I'll say is it still is a sturdier soft flame, and I'm not a soft flame guy, but I love this soft flame. To me, this is a very sturdy soft flame that holds up very nicely. It doesn't. It's got some girth to it, is what I'll say. Yeah, Harley Quinn was actually the first ones they did. The first of the DC Comics series.
Wes, I just want to let you know, I didn't see you reply to my message. No, I was going to send you the pictures because Wes is a collector. He actually got the Harley Quinn lighter from us. Yeah. I was going to text you the pictures of the new ones at the show in case you wanted any of them. But I see I didn't respond, so I'll get back to you today with that, buddy.
Yeah,
just get the Penguin one. The other ones aren't great. The Penguin one's pretty cool.
I think these are shipping already too. By the way, I think these are available. So, yeah. So yeah. So we'll have some more highlights from the trade show over the next couple of weeks too, as we go through stuff.
That all you got, Coop?
That's it for this week.
All right. Well, listen, for always up-to-the-date information, rumor and teaser-free, please go check out our friend's site, cigar-coop.com. Appreciate that. That's.
Let's hear from him.
I wonder, is he in this? Are we in the same position for all our screens? It's like Coop is there.
Yeah. I'm like you're there, right, Abe? So if I point,
we're in the same position.
No, I'm the other.
Yeah, we're good.
I'm the lower
No,
right.
you're
the upper
there.
left.
You're there for me. You're right
Yeah,
there.
Coop, you got to point. You got to point that way if you want. No, yeah, that's where I am in my screen.
Yeah.
That way.
Okay. Yeah. See, when I on my screen, I have to point that way.
So yeah, we're
all
not.
right. So we're not.
We're not all the same position on everybody's screen. Funny.
Yep.
Yes, we are.
He just said I'm the other corner.
Like if for Abe, if I have to point this way for Abe if I'm looking at the screen.
Yeah, that's not right for me.
Now let me add something. Right now, I'm fucking can't get my figure.
Coop,
Right
now,
what is wrong?
Quadrant. Is Abe in the top left? Or
Coop
top
is right there.
Top left. Abe's in the top left.
Yes, Abe is in the top left for everybody. It's just a matter of your perspective of where. So
Yeah.
Well, my finger.
But no, Alex is top right for me. Alex is top right.
Right.
Coop is
right now.
there.
We gotta do like Brady Bunch head. You know.
So, Coop, so what you're telling me is Coop is just incapable of pointing in the right direction.
No, I'm just saying.
We're all pointing in the right direction.
No, but Coop's left. He is because Coop's. Look, think about it. Where's Coop's left? It's going to be this corner.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
but
in the lower right. You're in the upper left, Abe.
We're
when I
pointing so
look at it.
it's right on the screen. Like Fred's right there on my screen, and Coop is right there on my screen. So my finger is actually pointing towards Coop on the screen.
But that's not the way it is for me because I have to point that way.
Because Coop's camera's set on mirroring, and the rest of ours aren't.
Correct,
I don't.
exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I see. I didn't know that.
I think Coop's left.
I don't know that. I'm just making shit up. I don't know.
Well, we just went down a worthless rabbit hole. All right. That being said,
clip it.
It's time for Tail of the Tape. Let's see what our picks are this week. Run it. All right. I believe we're on pick number 7.
Yes.
All right. I'll start out since I got probably the most boring one. I went into the medical, right? Because I had to have something in the medical industry on my list. And for number 7, I got MRI scanners. Big change in the medical universe. Obviously done by magnetics. The technology was originally controversial because one of the pioneers refused to patent it, believing that it should benefit humanity freely. Bet you didn't know that part. They don't use radiation like X-rays in the past, which makes safer and for repeated imaging. I think MRIs have been a big help in finding a lot of things early and saving probably a lot of lives over the years. And that made my pick at number 7.
MRI. I mean, yeah, it's funny. It's one of those things that you're like, no, just gotta get an MRI. It's just
right.
That's
right.
Right.
Yeah, get an
it's
MRI.
Changed a
There
lot.
was time before. You almost don't think like there was time before you were able to go get an MRI.
Changed a lot of shit when the MRIs came out.
Absolutely. I'll jump in number 7. So my pick is one of the. It's not often that you get an entirely new product category, but this invention did that. And number 7 for me is Red Bull. Red Bull spawned
energy drinks.
Great pick.
An entire new category of product that did not exist. And I especially like it because of Red Bull's marketing strategy, because they were the one, right? And if Red Bull didn't hit, we don't have Celsius and all the all the entirety of. But Red Bull's strategy was they intentionally made it so it didn't taste great. They didn't want it to taste like soda. They kind of wanted it to still, because look, of all of them, Red Bull doesn't taste good, but that was by design because they knew that. For people to actually think that it actually did, medicine doesn't taste good. So it needed to have some little bit of something that, okay, this isn't soda. This is something else. It must be doing what it said it did because it doesn't taste like soda. And that's what made it work.
Gives you wings.
Gives you wings.
Gives you wings.
Yep.
Cool.
Well, this came up last week.
You guys' picks are all more fun than mine. I got the worst pick this season.
Mine's
No,
a little more
that-
serious
no.
as we get in.
They're good. No, these are good picks. Mine's a repeat. I think it was Abe or Alex said this one last week. It's a K-Cup. It was something I never thought would last, but it has lasted. It's become, mainstream right now. You have coffee companies now make K-Cups. There's tons of K-Cup makers out there. I actually still don't have a K-Cup, by the way. I still don't use a K-Cup, but I still use the old stovetop percolator. It's the best way to make coffee. But this was like I said, I think it's changed coffee forever right now. It's
Ready?
not going anywhere.
You want to toss your opinion in?
Well, it's funny because I get every 6 weeks, right? So I came in hot with the Sony Walkman because I don't have to buffer a list of 10. So I had that before. I had the next one on my list, and Abe took the next one on my list, which was the MRI machine. I'm like, I'm going to go into something hot. No one's going to have. Swear. It's on my list. I'm like, there's no way anybody's going to have this one. So I got to go to my other one, which was actually higher up in the list, was digital cameras. Was the ability to not need film, and you could have a digital camera on there, and you could edit, you could take multiples. You didn't have that thing where you went to your grandma and she took pictures of you just because she had to get rid of the last 3 photos of the roll. Right. So yeah, digital cameras.
Kodak.
I really did. I had the MRI.
Kodak thought they'd be around forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that changed. I mean, you think about it. Remember the instant cameras we used to have? You get the cartridges, and you have that 12 pictures you get on it.
I was in a room with some kids, and they were talking about how there was this cool Kickstarter where you took your digital camera, you took your digital photo, and you sent it to this little unit, and it popped up a picture that was like a Polaroid, like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing. You can take your digital, and it prints it out right there. And I'm like, really? Really? This is your technology breakthrough?
Yep.
We're going back.
And it's funny because when digital cameras came out, Kodak refused to get on the.
Oh yeah.
Didn't they have it a long time ago, and they suppressed it? They had that technology a really long time ago.
They could have been the first to actually hop on board and the biggest. They already had the channels. They just didn't believe in it. They said people want tangible stuff. They want to be.
Well, and they also knew they couldn't sell film. That's what if you look at it, I think they had it. They couldn't sell film.
How did they not see the demise of that? I mean, that was the problem. They were so caught up.
I want to say this was 40 years ago, Abe. I want to say they had this technology a long time ago.
40 years ago is my lifetime. Yeah, you're about right. 40 years ago. Yeah, 35, 40 years ago. Sure. Well, that's going to bring us to the end of this week's episode. I really want to thank everybody out there who shared their Saturday morning with us. We hope we entertained you, had some fun. I will not be here next week, but our team will be here along with special guest Lauren Tilley from EJ Fernandez. Laurel Tilley from EJ Fernandez Cigars, her first time on KMA Talk Radio. Sorry I'm going to miss it, but it should be an interesting show. Until next week, everybody, keep it lit.